Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. We are back to watch another episode of She-Hulk. Last episode was the wedding episode, and I guess this episode is like a therapy episode featuring Abomination again, so that's going to be fun. I'm really enjoying this show so far. I think it's just kind of like a lighthearted comedy with some very loose overall arcing themes tossed in there. I'm enjoying the journey that Jen is going on of, well, it's enjoyable, but like it's not a good journey that she's going on. She's learning to embrace She-Hulk more than herself, and it's not a fun time for her to realize that people don't necessarily like the version of her that she was originally, and that everyone just likes She-Hulk. That's a bummer, but then she meets this dude at the wedding and has like dinner with him, and he seems to enjoy her for her. But then they teased this like scientist at the what initiative, or what is it called? It starts with an I. I forgot what it was called exactly, but they are the ones that are trying to get her blood and maybe like, oh, intelligentsia, that's what it was called. They're trying to get her blood and like recreate something. Like the leader, he could be one, the guy from the first Hulk movie. I don't know 100% what they are or what they're trying to do, but that's something to keep an eye on. Otherwise, I'm excited to jump into this episode, so before we do that, please leave a like on the video. If you're new here, hit subscribe, and then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider checking out my Patreon that's linked in the description below. But otherwise, let's jump into episode 6 of She-Hulk. Oh, Josh can't wait to see her. Gang, gang. Oh, whoa, subtle transition. Wow. She's pre-gaming. Oh, he's got a cool car too. Dang, Josh, you're shredded, buddy. Quality handshake. Wow, if he is evil, that will be heartbreaking. Invite him in, Jennifer. What are you doing? Just respond, you. I'm doing you, baby boy. There's just like no dialogue at all. This is very interesting. Josh, you better not be a bad guy. I'm gonna be upset. Stabs her with a needle. Take your blood. What? She's nearly naked. You can't show that on a Disney Plus show. So happy. Bro, Josh, text back. I swear to God.
No, I'm waiting for a text from Josh.
Okay, that's enough for you. It's just the first 12 hours after you slept with someone for the first time. It's just gonna feel icky. You just gotta coast through it without doing anything stupid.
Cause he's a guy?
Or at the movies, there's weddings,
Could be at the movies.
funerals, job interviews, silent retreats.
I hope he's at all of those today.
Oh, the next day? Josh! She's panicking. She's literally just got that waiting.
Hello?
Jennifer Walters. Neil Blonsky's parole officer.
We got a malfunction alert on Blonsky's inhibitor.
Oh, Did he turn into the abomination?
We don't know, so I gotta go up to that wackadoo ranch of his.
That's potentially very not good.
We don't have the resources for a squad of uniforms to go with me, so I was hoping you'd meet me there. Just in case, you know.
You have to fight him.
Hey, I'm not interrupting your weekend plans, am I?
She's got no weekend plans. Josh ghosted the shiz out of her, which is a bummer. Jennifer, watch the road. It's not gonna change anything. You're gonna drift into a ditch.
All right.
Jen.
Blonsky?
You're honking your horn at a 10-foot tall lizard monster.
That ain't no thing.
Come to think of it, I did get a jolt from an electric fence earlier, but it was worth it because my favorite chicken, Princess Silkfeather, was stuck.
Princess Silkfeather?
I have recalibrated your inhibitor, and she is good to go. So, stay away from the electric fence, maybe? Then I won't have to make any more scary trips up here. Yeah.
Well, come back anytime.
He's getting the hell out of there as fast as possible.
Well, I've already wasted half a Sunday on this expedition, so I'm gonna get moving.
Oi! Oh my god. That's her car.
Ah, hey!
You just broke her car, dude. That CGI was a little rough, for being honest, but it's okay. It's okay.
You know what? Apologize to my Prius Prime with money.
Absolutely apologize to your Prius.
With
That'll
money.
make me feel better. Brother Blotsky's actually taught me a lot about taking responsibility for my anger.
Brother Blonsky.
He's working through some identity issues here.
I am not the one with the issues. All right. I know exactly who I am.
Who are you?
A swashbuckler.
You keep saying that like it's an actual
Dude,
occupation.
you'd get along great with Jack from Hawkeye.
I can't drive this. How am I supposed to go home now?
You know, sometimes life presents a teacher when there's a lesson to be learned. Memble, give us a push to the garage, would you?
Do I look like a mechanic? My name's Man Bull, not Mechanical Bull. Woo.
Wow.
Nice.
How long have you been waiting
Nice.
to say that?
Yeah, that felt very forced.
You too?
Is there no cell reception here?
No. Okay,
Perfect.
so over there is the wood lodge.
Perfect. Now you can't stress over Josh texting you.
In our ceremonial sweat yurt, we...
Sweat yet.
If you could get me a desk and some Wi-Fi.
It's a bit of a hard ask, I'm afraid. On the Wi-Fi front, we don't carry it as a policy.
Why? Even Kamartaj has Wi-Fi.
It's not how I want to spend my day.
My brother
Maybe
in
it's how you
Christ.
need to
How do you
spend
watch
your day.
YouTube or Netflix? Sucks, Jen. Sucks to suck. But I think it's clear that Josh is part of a secret scientist organization. This could be an Apple ad. Did Apple film this episode? What's this weird magic? Oh, one bar.
Jen, you remember El Aguila and Mamble?
What's up, boys?
This is Porcupine. He's a porcupine. And Saracen thinks he's a vampire.
Wow, this is quite a group.
Does he just think? Or is he, like, legit a vampire?
Just because I am Spanish and I have a flair for the style, people constantly assume that I am a matador. It's dehumanizing.
Spanish is a language, not a
He also kind of dressed like a...
You've never heard of Spain?
Yeah, Spain's a place. He also dressed like a matador.
I did do some light matadoring in college.
Oh my God, dude, what?
Oh, no.
Manbull and El Aguila have been spending a lot of time together. I'm feeling like maybe it's not healthy. Unhealthy. I knew what I called that too.
Yeah, for real. Porcupine, you did call that. Wreck
Sorry
up.
I'm late. I lost track of time in the yurt.
No way.
Jen, please.
Really needed.
That guy's here? You probably don't even remember who he is. Tell
Did
me
you go on
the
a date with
previously
her?
on time. No, I don't care. We're doing it again.
Or is that
Previously on this guy.
which guy
You're
was
gonna
that?
strut around.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Jennifer. Ooh.
Come on, I stacked those.
Into the chairs. Yeah. Stacking chairs is a tall task.
I'd love to work through our issues if you'll let me.
Did Josh pay you?
Real strength comes from facing yourself in the mirror and saying, hey, man, I'm gonna work on me.
Wow.
All it did was make me and my boys act like idiots, rolling up on you like we were some supervillains or something.
Oh, you attacked a woman 4-1. You absolutely were super villains.
I hear you, Jen, and I take radical accountability for my actions.
Radical accountability?
And I'm fine. What?
You are not fine. Look at you flying into a rage, throwing people across the room.
Into perfectly stacked chairs.
Yeah, those chairs were excellently stacked, Man Bull.
I met a guy, Josh, at a wedding. We went on a few dates and I thought it was going great. And then I haven't heard from him. And now I can't stop thinking about it. Okay?
When's the last time you talked to him?
2 days ago. 3 nights ago, after they banged.
Well, what was the last thing you texted him?
Can't stop smiling.
That was fun. I can't stop smiling.
Oh my
Yikes.
What?
I can't stop smiling. It is thirsty and a cliche.
You're tacky and I hate you.
Hey. Getting a little worried. Just want to know you're okay. Blushing smile emoji.
Why would you do that?
The boys are like, what are you doing?
I think that we have to start considering the very real possibility that you were ghosted.
Or he wanted your blood.
No, not that.
Man, stop talking about blood. Not everybody's your dad.
He wanted her blood. I'm calling it. He wanted her blood.
Oh, Jen, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Yennefer.
No,
Yennefer, check your body for syringe marks.
he liked Jen. He specifically didn't ask about She-Hulk. You know in high school, that friend that you have that's like, like,
Oh, is she gonna cry right now? Don't cry right now, Jen, please.
everyone pays attention when I'm this. Like, my colleagues, my boss, guys. But it feels like cheating.
It is cheating a little bit.
Like if I was just Jen. Would the same guys who like She-Hulk stick around for Jen? Because some of them don't.
Yeah, that one douchebag from the Magic episode.
Jen is great. And no one cares when they're She-Hulk. So like, I meet this guy who actually likes Jen, and that just felt good to know that, you know? He ghosts me, and it sucks.
She's really working through it right now.
All right, screw this guy. Where does he live?
Let's kill him. That's right.
Yeah.
He's gotta die.
Yeah, he's gotta die. Indeed. Let's kill him.
Josh has made an enemy of this entire group.
Damn straight.
Right!
Oh, that is awesome.
Jen is hurting, and all we can offer her is violence.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we got. Those are the attributes we have to work with.
It hurts when someone rejects us because it reminds us of the times we reject ourselves.
Ooh. Aguilare, whatever your name is.
Maybe there's a group of guys right here who would love to spend time with Jen right now.
Change back. Yes.
Yeah.
Namaste, Jen. Namaste. All right, now, Porcupine, take off your mask.
That felt really good.
Yeah.
Felt really good, Porcupine.
Porcupine, take off the suit, buddy. What if you're an actual porcupine? If they cut away
smells like a fart.
Too much.
Oh, that's so sad.
If Josh isn't spending time on Jen, then Jen doesn't need to be spending time on Josh.
Delete Josh's numbers.
Ooh,
What he said.
facts. Ooh, facts. Yeah, gang.
Delete it.
Delete it.
Delete it.
Come on.
Delete it.
Delete it, 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 delete it. Yeah!
Can't believe I'm gonna say this, but
I'm hurting for a year.
Yo! Yurt gang? How long does the yurt take? 20 minutes? 30 minutes? An hour? How was the yurtin'? Yeah! Man, these boys are just great.
We love Jen and She-Hulk.
We do.
The gang. That's nice.
But it says gang, it's not literal gang. I mean, just make sure you make that clear to the parole board.
yeah, I will.
Yeah, totally. Not a real gang.
Cause if you think I was born yesterday, you have got me wrong.
Swear, if Josh texts her, I'm gonna be very mad. This is such a heartwarming episode. 3 days earlier, did Josh get assaulted? Josh, what happened to you? Josh! Wow. He's Hulk King? My brother in Christ! How dare you? How did you get her blood, though, if she's, like, conked? Wouldn't she notice getting, like, stabbed and stuff? I feel like she would notice. Wow. Okay, so that was a roller coaster of emotions in that episode. We had the whole, like, first section of it being like, wow, this is super cute. Jen's found someone she really enjoys and enjoys her for being herself. But I called it. I freaking last episode when I was like, this guy better not be like some secret plant. Like, he better not be a faker. Turns out he was a faker. And a faker in the worst way too, right? Like, he wasn't just a dude that ghosted her after banging. Not that that's like cool to do that to someone. That's obviously awful. And I didn't think she was being like clingy when she was like, that was fun, can't stop smiling. Like, that's you. She went on like 3 dates with this dude. Like, that's, I feel like it was a somewhat normal response maybe to that happening. Maybe she should have been a little suspect when she woke up in the morning and he was just gone. I would have been like, yo, you don't like breakfast? Where you at, brother? Like, he didn't talk about the fact that he was bailing. They just kind of like fell asleep. And she obviously was like hella concerned. She's like, bro, like she says in the therapy meeting, she finally found someone that likes her for Jen. And then you get to the point after they bang and then he ghosts her and he's gone. And it's like, bro, like she let down her guard. Like, she finally was feeling like she didn't have to perform and be She-Hulk in order for people to like her. And it was great. It was probably a huge self-esteem boost for her. And then him bailing just like reinforced that feeling that she's inadequate. And yeah, that's rough. And then she goes to the retreat to check on Blonsky. He obviously did nothing wrong because he's a chill dude now, right? And she meets this group of boys who are working out their issues of toxic masculinity, among other things. And just like every one of them is like a gem. They're all so kind and supportive of her, and it's just like group therapy, and it's wonderful. You know, they really they really get in touch with some of their own issues. You know, we have the Matador looking guy, Aguilar, or whatever his name was. We have Manbull. We had the guy that thinks he's a vampire and he may or may not be one. We had the Porcupine. And then we had one of the wrecking crew that tried to assault her before. All these dudes are here, and they all have seemingly worked out quite a bit of their issues. And I don't know, the scene where Jen is kind of not like breaking down, but like allowing herself to get vulnerable, and kind of like her voice is cracking a little bit, and you can see she's like trying not to cry. I think that weirdly might be, at this point, my favorite scene in the show. Right? I don't know why, because it's just like the whole 6-7 episodes up to this point has been a character journey for Jen. Like, that's what the whole show has been about at this point. Like, the setting and events of the episode are kind of like secondary, and the main thing has been about Jen going through becoming She-Hulk, learning to love She-Hulk, but feeling ashamed of herself, and then now starting to love herself again. And that scene was kind of like a culmination of all of it, where she's like, you know, I'm pretty great. And she allowed herself to be vulnerable with why this hurt her so much. And I just really liked it. And I liked how supportive those guys were. One of the common criticisms I've seen of this show, as unfounded as I personally think it is so many people have been saying like, oh, they made all the dudes in this show like misogynist D-bags. And that's not true. We got Pug's great. We have Bruce is great. Emil, he's freaking dope. And then all these boys in this group, they're all so supportive and nice. And it's just like a grand old time. It was like very heartwarming. And I think Jen is in a much better spot at the end of this episode than where she started. And then obviously at the end we get the truth of Josh. He didn't just ghost her. He is the Hulk King guy on Intelligentsia, I believe. Or he was texting the Hulk King guy. And he was like, got the blood, and then took a picture of her in bed for like extra douchey measure. I'm curious how he got her blood though. Like how does he get away with stabbing her without her like waking up? Did he stab her while they were boning? Like what? Or did he like collect, you know, bodily fluid from her? Like how did this happen? What is going on? I'm curious about the logistics of how he got her blood. Did he like search through her trash for her like her bloody tampons? Like what is going on? How did he secure this blood? I mean, I guess it's not a huge deal exactly how, but that part confused me a little bit. But it's no bueno. Yeah, I don't know. I like this show. I still see some complaints here and there of like people being like, oh, I don't know where this show's headed. Like, where's the direction? And it's like, again, I say this each week. Do people just like fundamentally not understand what this show is? Like, what do you mean you don't understand where the show is going? Did you, when you watched Friends or The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, were you like, I'm not sure where the show is going? It doesn't have to be going anywhere. It's just a story about these people, right? Like, you know, as much as things happen in Friends and relationships developed and shift and changed, like there wasn't like this is the clear story that's happening in Friends, right? They weren't like I don't, has it just been so long since people have watched, you know, like week to week like TV shows? like before they were on streaming. Like, has no one ever watched like any like CBS show, like NCIS or Criminal Minds or you know, friggin' CSI or anything like that? Like, so much of what happens in all these shows is very much just like self-contained weekly stuff, and then there's very loose series threads that carry over through all of it. Obviously there's like character threads that continue, which is what we've been seeing with Jen and her relationships. Like, obviously those carry through, but then in terms of like the overall plot, it's just like very loose arcs that carry throughout the whole show. And that's what a sitcom is. Like, do people not get it? Like, what is going on? Am I dumb? Like like I feel, and these aren't just like randos on the internet that are saying this. These are like some fairly large like creators. Like, I don't want to necessarily call out names, but like pretty big like creator in Brandon Davis. He works with Marvel a lot. He has a Marvel podcast called like Phase Zero. He was the one that I specifically referenced. So he's like, I don't know where this show's going, but like, it's not going anywhere. It's just happening. It's not there. There doesn't need to be some grand plan for this show. It's just a fun show. It's a fun sitcom about She-Hulk. Like, what more are people expecting? Is my question. I mean, and you don't necessarily, like, if sitcoms aren't your jam, you may not like the show. That's fine. Like, if you don't like it for its format, that's whatever. But to criticize it for its format, I feel like it feels weird. Like, right? Like, am I the only one that is on that side? Like when they've made it pretty clear, like from the get-go, like before the show even started, when they made it very clear that this is a sitcom, like a lawyer-ish sitcom starring She-Hulk, and that's what it would be, I don't know why people would expect to go into this and get like season 1 of Daredevil or season 1 of like Jessica Jones type storytelling, where it's like, this is a clear one arc story that we're telling, because that's not what this is. Like, this very much is not a serial show where one episode feeds into the next episode and continuously just tells one throughput story. This is very much a procedural sitcom-esque style show where, again, individual episodes will have their own main plot, and then there will be a very loose overarching story or theme happening with like hints and teases to bigger things. And that's exactly what we've been getting with this show. The hints and teases for the overall villain probably will lead into season 2 or beyond, maybe. I don't know. Overall, though, this doesn't need to be a show that has some like clear villain from the get-go. I mean, Titania could maybe be that clear villain from the get-go, I guess, but she's not like a huge main villain necessarily. Like, there's something more sinister happening, but that might be something they leave to a bigger project, so to speak, right? Like, why would they waste that mega dramatic storyline on a, procedural lawyer show, if that makes sense? I don't know. And I'm sorry if this feels like I'm ranting against those people. I don't mean to like call out Brandon Davis as like some sort of hack or anything. I think he's a quality dude, and I think he makes quality content, and he works hard and makes good stuff. Like, I think he's pretty solid guy, all things considered. He's just one example of various large creators that I've seen be like, I don't like this show because I don't know where it's going. You don't need to know where it's going. Not everything you see. I mean, maybe the MCU has kind of garnered this reputation, and media in general in today's day and age has kind of garnered the reputation of like, we always need to know where it's headed and where the next thing is coming. I don't think that's the case. Right? You don't need to be able to see the big plot or the big plot twist or the main conflict from the get-go. It's okay to let things develop naturally and, you know, just let things come to you when they come to you. It's not, we don't need to know how She-Hulk is going to connect to the next 2-3 years of Marvel properties. Like, that's not necessary right now, and it's not the goal of this show. And I feel like to detract, you know, like say that takes away from the quality of the show, I think is kind of just backwards thinking. Like, judge the show for what it is, not what you don't see how. I don't, right? Like, judge it for what it is, not what you want it to be, if that makes sense. Like, if you want this show to be some, you know, grand plan type show, then that's what you want. But like, as like a critic or like someone who talks about media on a large scale, you can't go into this show and then be like, oh, it's not what I wanted it to be, so it's bad. Or like, I mean, you can say you don't like it. Again, like I said, if sitcoms, like procedurals or sitcoms aren't really your jam, that's okay. You can just totally be like, hey, it's not really my flavor of show, but, you know, that doesn't mean it's bad. You know, I generally don't watch this type of show in general, but I'm able to, like, look at the show as what it is and have fun watching it. Like, as long as I'm not going into this show expecting, you know, Avengers Infinity War, like, I'm not disappointed at all. I enjoy the show. So, yeah. Sorry, that's just me. I do this a lot. I vent a lot lately, where I'm enjoying a show very much, and I see a online negative discourse about the show that seems to me unfounded. I tend to do a little bit of ranting. So if you're new here, sorry. That's how the channel works sometimes. Hopefully you don't get too mad. Overall, though, I thought the main message of this episode of Jen learning to love Jen a little bit more was heartwarming and gratifying, and I thought it was cute seeing all the characters, you know, meld together and bond a little bit. And I wouldn't be mad if we saw more of those characters in the future. So, yeah, I think that's all I got to say. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed my reaction, please leave a like on the video. If you're new here or come back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell. And then if you want to see full uncuts for anything I watch on the channel, including this episode, consider checking out my Patreon. It's linked in the description below. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.